Jake Morrison wiped the sweat from his face as he walked through the metal halls of Research Station Omega-7. The station floated in space above a strange planet called Kepler 442b. Jake worked as a scientist who studied alien animals. Most people thought he was weird because he did things differently than other scientists. The alarm bells rang loud and sharp. Jake ran toward the sound. He found a group of scientists standing around a big glass box. Inside the box was something that made Jake's heart beat fast. It was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. The animal was about the size of a large dog, but it looked nothing like any Earth animal. Its skin was dark blue with silver spots that seemed to glow. It had 4 legs that ended in claws, and its head was long with big bright eyes. The creature was hurt. Blood came from cuts on its side. "What happened?" Jake asked Dr. Lisa Carter, the station commander. She was a tall woman with short gray hair who always looked angry. "We found it in the crystal caves," Lisa said. "It attacked our mining team. We had to shoot it with stun weapons to bring it here." Jake looked at the creature again. It was not moving much, but its eyes were open. Those eyes looked smart. Too smart for a simple animal. "It's dangerous," said Commander Alex Reed. He was the military man on the station. "We should put it to sleep forever before it hurts someone." "Wait," Jake said. "Let me study it first. Maybe we can learn something." Dr. Zara 9 made a sound like laughing. She was from an alien race called the Vorthak. Her people thought humans were stupid. "Humans always want to play with dangerous things," she said. "This creature is a killer. Your soft human feelings will get you hurt." Jake ignored her. He walked closer to the glass box. The creature's eyes followed him. When Jake put his hand on the glass, the creature moved its head slightly. Jake felt something strange, like a whisper in his mind. "I want to work with it," Jake said. "Are you crazy?" Lisa asked. "Look at those claws, look at those teeth." "It's hurt and scared," Jake said. "If we treat it with care, maybe it will trust us." Alex shook his head. "The only way to deal with dangerous animals is with strong cages and drugs to keep them quiet." "That's the old way," Jake said. "Let me try something different." The other scientists started talking at once. They all thought Jake was making a big mistake. Dr. Ben Foster, a quiet man who sometimes agreed with Jake, said nothing. He just watched. "Fine," Lisa said finally. "You have 3 days. If that thing hurts anyone, we kill it." Jake nodded. He would need to work fast. The next morning, Jake came to the lab early. The creature was awake, lying in the corner of its cage. Jake brought some food, raw fish, from the station's kitchen. He opened a small door in the cage and put the fish inside, then sat down on the floor. Dr. Sam Johnson, who worked with machines, came by and laughed. "Playing with your new pet, Jake?" "It's not a pet," Jake said. "It's an intelligent being." "Right," Sam said. "And I'm the king of Mars." More scientists came by during the day. They all made jokes about Jake and his pet monster. Captain Nina Wells, who flew supply ships to the station, stopped to watch. "You know it could bite your hand off through that cage?" she asked. "It won't," Jake said. "Look at its body language. It's curious, not angry." Nina looked at the creature. It was sitting up now, watching Jake with those big eyes. "How can you tell?" "Years of studying animals," Jake said. "This one is trying to understand me just like I'm trying to understand it." By the end of the first day, the creature had eaten the fish. It also moved closer to where Jake sat. That was progress. On the second day, Jake brought more food. This time he also brought a small music player. He played soft songs while he sat near the cage. The creature seemed to like the music. Its head moved slightly with the rhythm. "This is ridiculous," said Dr. Ryan Clark, who worked with communications. "You're treating it like a human child." "Maybe that's what it needs," Jake said. More people came to watch and laugh. Word spread around the station about Jake's strange project. Even the alien visitors thought it was funny. The Vorthak scientists made clicking sounds that meant they were amused. But Jake noticed something the others missed. The creature's wounds were healing fast. Too fast for a normal animal. And sometimes, when Jake looked into its eyes, he felt that strange whisper in his mind again. It was trying to talk to him. On the third day, Jake decided to take a big risk. While the other scientists were at lunch, he opened the cage door wide. The creature could escape if it wanted to. Instead, it stepped out slowly and sat down next to Jake. It was bigger than he thought, but it moved gently. Jake reached out his hand and the creature sniffed it. Then, very carefully, it touched Jake's hand with its nose. That was when Jake felt it clearly. A voice in his mind that was not his own. It was scared and confused, but also grateful. This creature was not just smart. It could think and feel like a person. "Hello," Jake whispered. "I'm going to call you Echo." Echo made a soft sound, almost like a purr. When the other scientists came back and found Jake sitting next to the free creature, they panicked. Alarms rang again. Security guards came running with weapons. "Don't shoot," Jake said, standing in front of Echo. "It's not dangerous." "Step away from that thing," Alex shouted. But Echo did something amazing. It moved behind Jake and lay down, showing it was not a threat. It trusted Jake to protect it. "You're all insane if you think this will work," Lisa said. "That creature will turn on you the moment it gets hungry enough." Jake just smiled and touched Echo's head gently. He could feel the creature's thoughts, confused but hopeful. Echo was lost and alone, just like Jake often felt on this station, full of people who didn't understand him. "We'll see," Jake said quietly. 3 weeks passed since Jake first met Echo. The creature now lived in a larger room instead of a cage. Jake spent every day with Echo, learning how to communicate. It was not easy, but Jake was patient. Echo was much smarter than anyone thought. The creature could solve puzzles that took human children years to learn. It understood when Jake pointed at things. Most amazing of all, Echo could share feelings and simple thoughts through touch. Jake discovered this by accident. One day, when he put his hand on Echo's head, he suddenly felt very sad. It was not his sadness, it was Echo's. The creature missed something or someone far away. "You're homesick," Jake said softly. "You want to go home." Echo made a low sound and touched Jake's arm with its nose. Suddenly, Jake saw pictures in his mind. They were not clear, but he saw bright lights and tall buildings that looked like crystals. He saw other creatures like Echo flying through the air. "Where is home?" Jake asked. Echo looked up at the ceiling, toward the stars. Dr. Ben Foster was the first person to believe Jake's reports about Echo's intelligence. Ben was a careful scientist who liked to check facts before making decisions. "Show me," Ben said one morning. Jake asked Echo to solve a puzzle, a box with colored buttons that had to be pressed in the right order. Human scientists took 30 minutes to figure it out. Echo looked at it for 10 seconds, then pressed the buttons perfectly. "Incredible," Ben whispered. "Its brain works faster than ours." "It's not just smart," Jake said. "It can share thoughts. Watch this." Jake thought about being hungry. Echo immediately went to its food bowl and brought some fish to Jake. Ben's eyes grew wide. "Telepathy? Are you sure?" "Try it yourself," Jake said. Ben was nervous, but he put his hand on Echo's head. At first nothing happened. Then Ben gasped and pulled his hand away. "I felt curiosity," Ben said. "It was looking at my thoughts about my daughter back on Earth." Word spread quickly. Soon, Captain Nina Wells came to see Echo. She had been one of the few people who did not laugh at Jake from the beginning. "Hello, beautiful creature," Nina said gently. Echo tilted its head and approached her slowly. When Nina held out her hand, Echo sniffed it and made a happy sound. "It likes you," Jake said. Echo can sense if people are good or bad. But not everyone was happy about Echo's progress. Dr. Zara 9 and the other alien scientists thought humans were getting too close to a dangerous animal. "This creature could be faking its intelligence," Zara 9 said during a meeting. "Many predators are good at tricking their prey." "Echo is not a predator," Jake said. "It only eats fish and some plants." "Today fish, tomorrow humans, Commander," Alex said. "We should study its brain while we can control it." Jake felt angry. "Control it? Echo is not a thing to be controlled. It's a person. It's an animal," Lisa said firmly. "A very smart animal, but still an animal. That afternoon, Jake was working with Echo when alarms started ringing. A group of scientists in white coats came into the room with strange machines. "Step away from the creature," one scientist said. "We need to run some tests." "What kind of tests?" Jake asked. "Brain scans," the scientist said. "We need to put electrodes on its head." Echo understood something was wrong. The creature moved closer to Jake and made worried sounds. "No," Jake said. "Those tests will hurt Echo." "The creature needs to be sedated anyway," Alex said, coming into the room with 2 security guards. "It's getting too big and strong." Jake felt Echo's fear through their mental connection. The creature was terrified of being drugged and helpless again. "Please," Jake said. "Give me more time. Echo is learning to trust us." "Trust?" Lisa laughed. "Jake, you're acting like this thing is your friend." "It is my friend," Jake said. The security guards moved forward with a sedation gun. Echo saw the weapon and its body went tense. Jake felt the creature's power building up. Echo was much stronger than it had shown before. "Don't shoot," Jake said quickly. "You'll make it angry." But it was too late. One guard fired the sedation dart. Echo moved faster than anyone thought possible. The dart missed and hit the wall. Echo stood between Jake and the guards, making a deep growling sound. "See?" Alex said. "It's dangerous. Shoot it again." "No." Jake stepped in front of Echo. "It's protecting me, not attacking you." Echo stopped growling when Jake touched its head. Through their connection, Jake felt Echo's confusion. The creature did not understand why these people wanted to hurt it when Jake had been so kind. "It's okay," Jake whispered to Echo. "I won't let them hurt you." Dr. Ben Foster spoke up. "Look at what just happened. The creature could have attacked anyone in this room, but it only defended itself and Jake. That shows remarkable control." "It shows intelligence and judgment," Nina added. "A dumb animal would have attacked everyone." The scientist with the machines looked frustrated. "We need those brain scans to understand how it thinks." "Maybe there's another way," Jake said. "Echo, can you show them what you showed me? About your home?" Echo looked at Jake, then at the other people in the room. Slowly, the creature walked to Ben and gently touched his hand. Ben closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them with wonder. "I see. A city in space. Crystal towers and creatures flying without wings. It's beautiful." Echo went to Nina next. She gasped when the mental images came. "There are others like you," Nina said to Echo. "Many others. They're looking for you, aren't they?" Echo made a sad sound and nodded. Even some of the guards put down their weapons and let Echo share the vision with them. One by one, they saw what Jake had seen, Echo's home among the stars. But Zara 9 was not impressed. "Pictures in the mind prove nothing. This creature could be putting false images in your heads." "Why would it do that?" Jake asked. "To make you trust it before it strikes," Zara 9 said. Commander Alex nodded. "I agree. This thing is too dangerous to keep free. We need to put it back in a cage." Jake felt Echo's panic through their connection. The creature had been free for weeks now. Going back to a cage would break its spirit. "There has to be another way," Jake said. That night, Jake sat with Echo in their room. The creature was quiet and sad. Through their mental link, Jake felt Echo's growing despair. The creature knew that most of the humans did not trust it. "I believe in you," Jake whispered. "But we need to find your people. They'll understand you better than we do." Echo looked up at Jake with those intelligent eyes. Then very carefully, Echo began to share a new vision. This one was different from the others. It showed Jake how to read the stars, how to find the way to Echo's home. "You want me to help you get home?" Jake said. Echo touched Jake's hand gently. In his mind, Jake felt a question. "Will you come with me?" Jake looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there was Echo's family. They were probably worried sick about their lost child. "Yes," Jake said quietly. "I'll help you get home." Echo made a happy sound and curled up next to Jake. For the first time since they met, the creature felt truly safe. But Jake knew their troubles were just beginning. The other scientists would never let Echo leave, and traveling to an unknown part of space would be dangerous for both of them. Still, Jake had made a promise to his friend. Somehow he would keep it. Jake woke up to the sound of Echo making excited noises. The creature was standing by the window, looking out at the planet below. Through their mental connection, Jake felt Echo's surprise and happiness. "What is it?" Jake asked, getting out of bed. Echo touched Jake's hand and shared a vision. Jake saw the crystal caves where Echo had been found, but now they looked different. The crystals were glowing with soft blue light. "You know something about those caves," Jake said. Echo nodded and projected more images. Jake saw ancient buildings buried under rocks and dirt. The buildings looked similar to the crystal city Echo had shown him before. "There are ruins down there," Jake whispered. "Your people were here before." Dr. Ryan Clark, the communications expert, came running into their room. "Jake, you need to see this. The planet's energy readings just went crazy." They hurried to the control room. Captain Nina Wells was already there, looking at the computer screens with Dr. Ben Foster. "The crystal formations are sending out some kind of signal," Nina said. "It started about an hour ago." Jake looked at Echo. "Is your presence here causing this?" Echo touched the communication console. Suddenly, the random signals became organized. The computer screen showed patterns that looked almost like language. "Incredible," Ryan said. "It's like the planet is trying to talk to us." Ben looked at Echo with amazement. "You're activating something, aren't you? Some kind of ancient technology." Echo made a soft sound and projected images to all of them at once. They saw the planet as it was long ago, covered with beautiful cities and filled with creatures like Echo. "This was your people's world," Jake said. Before they left, Echo nodded sadly. The images showed the planet becoming cold and empty as Echo's people moved to the stars. "Why did they leave?" Nina asked. Echo showed them more pictures. The planet's sun was getting old and weak. Echo's people had to find a new home among the stars, but they left technology behind, Ben said, hidden in the caves. Commander Alex came into the control room with several military officers Jake had never seen before. They wore different uniforms and looked very serious. "We have a problem," Alex said. "Earth Command has heard about our alien friend. They want to take it for weapons research." Jake felt Echo's fear spike through their mental connection. The creature pressed close to Jake's side. "It's not a weapon," Jake said. "It's a child trying to find its family. A child that can communicate with ancient alien technology," one of the new officers said. "Do you understand what kind of military advantage that could give us?" "No," Jake said firmly. "Echo is not going to be used as a tool." "You don't have a choice," the officer said. "We're taking the creature to Earth. Our scientists can learn more from it there." Echo made a low, dangerous sound. The lights in the control room flickered. The computer screens went blank for a moment, then came back on. "Did it just do that?" Alex asked nervously. "Echo is upset," Jake said. "And when Echo is upset, strange things happen to electronics." "All the more reason to study it properly," the officer said. "Prepare it for transport." "I won't let you take my friend," Jake said. Dr. Zara 9, who had been watching quietly, stepped forward. "The human is too emotionally attached to think clearly. This creature could be dangerous to the entire station. The only danger here is from people who want to hurt Echo," Jake said angrily. Ben and Nina moved to stand beside Jake. Even Dr. Sam Johnson, who worked with machines, came to support them. "Jake is right," Ben said. "This creature has shown nothing but intelligence and kindness. Taking it against its will would be wrong." "It's not human," the officer said. "It doesn't have rights." Echo stepped in front of Jake. The creature looked directly at the military officers and projected a thought to everyone in the room. The thought was simple but powerful. "Please, I just want to go home." Several people gasped. Even some of the military officers looked uncomfortable. "It can talk to all of us," Nina said. That's not just intelligence, that's a person with feelings. Enough, the lead officer said. Guards, sedate the creature and prepare it for transport. 4 soldiers came forward with stun weapons. Echo saw them coming, and its body began to glow with the same blue light as the crystals on the planet. Echo. No, Jake said quickly. Don't hurt them. Echo stopped glowing but did not move away from Jake. The creature trusted Jake to protect it. Jake had an idea. What if I could prove that Echo is too valuable to lock up? What if I could show you that? We need Echo free to unlock the secrets of the ancient technology? What do you mean? Alex asked. The planet is full of ruins from Echo's people, Jake said. Advanced technology that could help all of humanity. But we need Echo's help to understand it. Go on, the lead officer said, looking interested. Give me 1 week, Jake said. Let me take Echo down to the planet. If we can unlock even one piece of ancient technology, you'll see that Echo is worth more as a partner than as a prisoner. The officers talked quietly among themselves. Finally, the leader nodded. 1 week, he said. But the creature wears a tracking device, and if it tries to escape or attack anyone, we kill it immediately. Jake felt Echo's gratitude through their mental connection. The creature understood what Jake was trying to do. That night, Jake made preparations for their trip to the planet. Captain Nina offered to fly them down in her ship. Are you sure about this? Nina asked. If Echo can't activate the technology, they'll take it away from you. Echo can do it, Jake said. I have faith in my friend. Dr. Sam Johnson came to see them before they left. I want to come with you, he said. If there's ancient technology down there, you'll need an engineer. It could be dangerous, Jake warned. Everything worthwhile is dangerous, Sam said with a smile. Ryan Clark also asked to join them. If we're going to communicate with alien technology, you'll need a communications expert. Soon they had a small team ready to explore the planet. Dr. Ben Foster would stay on the station to watch the monitors and give them updates. Echo was excited about going to the planet's surface. The creature had not been outside since Jake found it in the caves. Through their mental connection, Jake felt Echo's hope growing stronger. Don't worry, Jake whispered to Echo as they prepared to leave the station. We're going to find answers down there, and then we're going to find your people. Echo touched Jake's hand gently. In his mind, Jake felt Echo's complete trust. The creature believed in him completely. Looking out at the planet below, Jake made a silent promise. No matter what they found in the ancient ruins, he would not let anyone use Echo as a weapon. Echo deserved to be free, to find its family among the stars. The transport ship's engines started up. Their adventure was about to begin. Echo looked at Jake and projected one simple thought. Together. Together, Jake agreed. As their ship flew toward the planet's surface, Jake wondered what secrets they would discover in the ancient caves. Whatever they found, he knew it would change everything. The ancient ruins were more amazing than Jake had imagined. Deep inside the crystal caves, Echo led them to a hidden chamber filled with glowing technology. The walls were covered with symbols that hurt Jake's eyes to look at directly. Echo touched one of the crystal panels and the entire chamber came to life. Lights flowed along the walls like water. Strange sounds filled the air. Not quite music, but not quite machine noise either. What is it doing? Sam Johnson asked, staring at his equipment readings. The energy levels are off the charts. Echo projected images to Jake's mind. He saw star maps showing paths between worlds. He saw Echo's people traveling through space, in ships that looked like living crystals. It's a navigation system, Jake said with wonder. Echo's people left directions for getting home. Ryan Clark was recording everything with his instruments. The communication frequencies are incredible. This technology could let us talk to anyone in the galaxy. But their amazing discovery was interrupted by alarms from the space station above. Ben Foster's voice came through their communicators. Jake, get back here now, Ben said urgently. More military ships just arrived. They want to take Echo immediately. Jake felt Echo's fear spike through their mental connection. The creature had hoped they would have more time. We have to go, Nina said. My ship is ready. But as they left the cave, Jake made a difficult decision. We're not going back to the station. What? Sam asked. They'll take Echo away from me, Jake said. I won't let that happen. Where can we go? Ryan asked. They'll find us anywhere in human space. Echo touched Jake's arm and projected a new set of images. Jake saw a path through space leading to other worlds, other peoples who might help them. Echo knows the way to other civilizations, Jake said. We can find allies out there. Nina looked worried. Jake, that's crazy. We'd be leaving human space entirely. Echo is my friend, Jake said simply. Friends don't abandon each other. They made it back to Nina's ship just as military vessels surrounded the space station. Nina was a skilled pilot and she managed to escape while the larger ships were focused on the station. Where are we going? Nina asked as they flew away from Kepler 442b. Echo moved to the navigation console and touched it with one clawed hand. The star maps on the screen changed, showing a course toward unknown regions of space. Into the unknown, Jake said. Their first stop was a trading station on the edge of human territory. Jake hoped to get supplies and information about the galaxy, beyond human space. The trading station was full of alien species Jake had never seen before. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange he couldn't figure out which end was their head. Stay close to me, Jake told Echo. Some of these people might be afraid of you. But Echo surprised everyone. As they walked through the stations, corridors, other aliens stopped to stare at Echo with what looked like respect. Some even bowed slightly. An alien merchant with 4 arms and purple skin approached them. Honored one, the merchant said to Echo in broken human language. You are Ethrin, yes? Echo nodded. Your people are legends, the merchant continued. We thought you were myths. Echo's people are real, Jake said. We're trying to find them. The merchant's eyes grew wide. Human travels with young Ethrin? This is most unusual thing. Word spread quickly through the station. Soon Jake and Echo were surrounded by curious aliens. None of them seemed afraid of Echo. Instead, they acted like they were meeting someone famous. A tall, thin alien with silver skin stepped forward. I am Captain Kell of the Free Trade Alliance, he said. If you truly travel with an Ethrin, you are welcome on any of our worlds. Why is everyone acting like Echo is special? Jake asked. Ethrin people are the oldest space travelers, Captain Kell explained. They helped many young species learn to reach the stars, but they disappeared long ago. Most of us thought they were just stories. Echo projected images to Jake showing its people teaching other aliens how to build spaceships and how to travel safely between worlds. Your people were teachers, Jake said to Echo. Echo nodded and projected pride and sadness, pride in what its people had done, sadness that they were gone. Where did the Ethrins go? Sam asked Captain Kell. No one knows, Kell replied. They left to find new homes beyond the edge of known space. Some say they still exist, but no one has seen them for 1,000 years. Jake felt Echo's loneliness through their mental connection. The creature had been alone for so long, not knowing if its people were even still alive. We'll find them, Jake promised. Captain Kell offered to give them a better ship and supplies for their journey. Any friend of the Ethrins is a friend to all free peoples, he said. They traded Nina's small ship for a larger vessel that could travel much farther. Jake named it the Wanderer because they would be wandering through space looking for Echo's home. Dr. Tony Martinez, a pilot who worked at the trading station, asked to join their crew. I've always wanted to explore beyond the known galaxy, he said. Grace Adams, a former military medic, also joined them. If you're going into unknown space, you'll need someone who can patch you up, she said. Luke Davis, a tech expert who specialized in alien technology, completed their small crew. Echo's people built incredible machines, he said. I want to learn from them. Their journey took them to many strange worlds. On each planet, they met aliens who remembered stories about the Ethrins. Some gave them star maps. Others gave them supplies or fuel. Echo's abilities continued to grow stronger. The creature could now sense danger before it happened, warning them about space storms and hostile ships. Echo could also help their ship's computers work better, making their journey faster and safer. On a water world called Aquatica, they met a species of intelligent sea creatures who had ancient records about the Etherans. The sea beings showed them star charts carved in coral that pointed toward a distant nebula. The bright ones went there, the sea being told them through a translation device. Where stars are born and old stars go to rest. That's 3 months of travel from here, Tony said, looking at the navigation charts. Echo's people are in that nebula, Jake said with certainty. He could feel Echo's excitement growing stronger each day as they got closer to home. But their journey was not without danger. Space pirates attacked them twice, thinking they were easy prey. Both times, Echo used its growing powers to disable the pirate ships without hurting anyone. The creature's control over energy and electronics was becoming very strong. How does Echo do that? Grace asked after the second pirate attack. I think all of Echo's people can manipulate energy, Luke said. It's probably how they built such advanced technology. As they traveled deeper into unknown space, Jake noticed that Echo was changing. The creature was getting bigger and stronger. Its colors were becoming brighter. Most importantly, Echo seemed to be developing new mental abilities every day. You're growing up, Jake realized one day as he watched Echo easily solve a complex engineering problem. Echo projected happiness and gratitude to Jake. The creature was becoming an adult, but it still considered Jake its closest friend. After 3 months of travel, they finally reached the edge of the nebula. It was the most beautiful thing Jake had ever seen. Clouds of gas and stardust in every color imaginable, with new stars being born in bright flashes of light. It's like a cosmic nursery, Nina breathed. Echo stood at the ship's front window, its whole body glowing with excitement. Through their mental connection, Jake felt Echo's overwhelming joy. We're almost home, Jake said. Echo touched Jake's hand and projected one final image. A crystal city floating in the heart of the nebula, surrounded by ships that looked like living jewels. There, Echo said clearly, speaking out loud for the first time since Jake had known it. Home. The word was spoken in Echo's own language, but somehow Jake understood it perfectly. Their long journey was almost over. Soon, Jake would meet the legendary Etherans. He wondered what they would think of the human who had befriended their lost child. Echo looked at Jake with those intelligent, grateful eyes and projected one simple thought. Thank you for bringing me home. Jake smiled and touched Echo's head, gently. Thank you for being my friend. Together they flew into the nebula toward whatever waited for them among the stars. The crystal city was even more beautiful than Echo's visions had shown. It floated in the heart of the nebula like a jewel made of light and music. Towers stretched up toward the colorful gas clouds, and bridges of pure energy connected different parts of the city. Jake's ship, the Wanderer, was met by 3 Ethran vessels that looked like living creatures made of crystal and starlight. They were graceful and peaceful, nothing like human military ships. Incredible, Luke whispered, staring at his instruments. Their ships are alive. They're part machine, part living being. Echo stood at the front window, its entire body glowing with happiness. Through their mental connection, Jake felt Echo's overwhelming joy at seeing its own people again. A gentle voice spoke in Jake's mind. Not Echo's voice, but someone else. Welcome, friends of the young one. We have been waiting for this moment. 3. Adult Etherans came aboard the Wanderer. They were larger than Echo and their colors were more complex. Deep blues and purples with silver patterns that moved like flowing water. Jake could feel the power and wisdom radiating from them. The eldest, who introduced herself as Elder Seren, looked at Jake with eyes that seemed to hold the knowledge of ages. You are the human who cared for our lost child, she said, her voice speaking directly into Jake's mind. We have watched your journey through Echo's memories. You were watching us? Jake asked. We see through the eyes of all our children, Elder Seren explained. When Echo was lost, we feared the worst. But you showed kindness to a creature you did not understand. This tells us much about your species. Echo ran to the elder Etherans making happy sounds. They surrounded the young creature with gentle touches and soft lights. Jake felt Echo's relief and joy through their connection. Echo was on a learning journey, another elder explained. Young Etherans must travel alone to distant worlds to understand the galaxy. But Echo's ship was damaged in a space storm. Oh, learning journey? Jake asked. We call it the Wandering, Elder Saren said. Each young Etheran must spend time with other species to learn wisdom and compassion. Most return after a few months. Echo was gone for almost a year. Jake understood now why Echo had been so intelligent and curious. The creature, no, the person, had been on a mission to learn about other species. We are grateful to you, Jake. Morrison, Elder Saren continued. But we are also amazed. No other species has ever formed such a close bond with one of our children. Why is that amazing? Grace asked. Because Etherans are telepathic, the elder explained. Most species find our mental touch uncomfortable or frightening. You not only accepted it, you welcomed it. Jake looked at his human friends. Tony, Grace, Luke, and the others all seemed awed by what they were seeing. Your people are legends throughout the galaxy, Nina said. They say you taught other species how to travel the stars. We did, Elder Saren confirmed. For thousands of years we helped young civilizations take their first steps into space, but then we grew tired and decided to rest. Rest? Sam asked. We withdrew from the galaxy to live in peace, the elder said. We have been watching from afar, wondering if the species we helped would grow wise enough to join us someday. Jake felt a chill. Join you how? Elder Saren smiled, an expression that looked strange on her alien features but felt warm in Jake's mind. We have been waiting for a species that could truly understand us, she said. A species with both intelligence and compassion. Your treatment of Echo suggests that humans might be ready. Ready for what? Jake asked. To join the true galactic community, Elder Saren said. Not as conquerors or traitors, but as teachers and guardians of peace. Suddenly, Jake heard familiar voices. He turned to see Dr. Ben Foster, Commander Alex, and even Dr. Lisa Carter appearing on a holographic display. Jake! Ben called out. Are you all right? We've been worried sick. How are you talking to us? Jake asked. The Etherans contacted our space station, Lisa said, looking amazed. Their technology is incredible. They can communicate across the entire galaxy instantly. Commander Alex looked uncomfortable but respectful. Jake, the military wants to apologize. We didn't understand what we were dealing with. Elder Saren projected amusement. Your military leaders have learned much in the past few months. Several of our people visited Earth to explain the situation. You went to Earth? Jake asked, surprised. We had to, the elder said. Once we realized one of our children had bonded with a human, we needed to understand your species better. Dr. Carl Wright, Earth's ambassador to alien species, appeared on the hologram. Jake, your friendship with Echo has changed everything. The Etherans have offered to share their knowledge with humanity. But only under certain conditions, Elder Saren added. Humans must prove they will use advanced technology wisely. They must promise to help other species instead of conquering them. Jake felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. What does this have to do with me? You will be our first human student, Elder Saren said. You have already proven that humans can form deep friendships with alien species. Now you must learn to become a teacher yourself. Echo moved to Jake's, sighed and projected warm feelings of support and love. The young Etheran wanted its human friend to stay. What about my crew? Jake asked. What about my friends? They are welcome to stay and learn as well, Elder Saren said. But the choice is yours. Jake looked at Tony, Grace, Luke, Nina, and Sam. They all nodded encouragingly. We're with you, Grace said simply. This is the adventure of a lifetime, Luke added. Elder Saren gestured toward the Crystal City. Come, let us show you what awaits those who choose the path of wisdom. They were taken to the city in one of the living ships. Jake marveled at how the vessel seemed to respond to his thoughts and emotions. It was like riding in a creature that wanted to make him comfortable. The city was full of wonders. Gardens grew in zero gravity, tended by Etherans who sang to the plants. Libraries contained the knowledge of 1,000 worlds, stored in crystals, that projected information directly into the mind. Workshops created new technologies that seemed more like art than science. This could be humanity's future, Elder Saran said as they toured the city. But only if your species can learn to value wisdom over power. How long would it take to learn? Jake asked. Years, the elder admitted. Decades, perhaps. But you would return to Earth as humanity's first true ambassador to the ancient civilizations. Jake thought about all the people back on Earth who had mocked him for befriending Echo. Now those same people would benefit from the friendship he had built. That evening, Jake sat with Echo in a garden that overlooked the nebula. The young Ethran was happy to be home, but Jake could feel its sadness about their separation. I'm not leaving you, Jake said gently. I'm going to stay and learn. Echo projected joy and relief. Then the creature shared a new vision. Jake and Echo traveling together to distant worlds, teaching other species about friendship and cooperation. We'll be partners, Jake realized. Ambassadors working together. Echo nodded and made a sound that Jake now knew meant forever friends. Dr. Ben Foster's voice came through the communication system. Jake, Earth wants to know your decision. Jake looked out at the Crystal City, then at Echo, then at his human friends who had followed him across the galaxy. Tell Earth that humanity's first class in galactic citizenship is about to begin, Jake said. Elder Saran appeared beside them, her colors shifting to show approval. You have chosen wisely, Jake Morrison. Your species has much to learn, but also much to teach. The bond between you and Echo proves that true friendship can bridge any gap. Jake smiled and put his hand on Echo's head. Through their mental connection, he felt not just Echo's thoughts, but the warm welcome of an entire civilization. When we first met, people mocked me for befriending an alien beast, Jake said to Echo. Now that friendship is going to change. The future for both our species. Echo projected one final image. Humans and Etherans working together among the stars, exploring new worlds and helping young civilizations find their way. The best adventures, Jake said softly, are the ones we share with friends. As the nebula swirled around them in brilliant colors, Jake knew that his greatest adventure was just beginning, and he would not be taking it alone. Echo made a happy sound and settled beside Jake, ready for whatever wonders awaited them among the stars.